It is my pleasure to introduce to you the young lady who is going to serve as our Master of Ceremonies tonight. Would you folks please welcome Betty Shin.
Well, that was kind of puny. Can't we do that a little louder? Okay. Welcome to the 99th Annual Awards Banquet of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. As was just announced, I am Betty Shin, and I'm delighted tonight to serve as your MC. When everyone is all seated, find your seat number, your table number. I'd like for us to come to order. I'd like to ask Pastor Brent Bullard of the Grace Bible Church here in Nacogdoches to lead us in our invocation. Please pray with us.
Let's pray. Oh Lord, you're the giver of all good gifts and the source of stability through all the storms of life. We thank you that even though the world is ever changing, you are steadfast and you always keep your word. You're merciful to the sinner, you're near to the brokenhearted, and you're the father to the fatherless. We come before you this evening with grateful and yet burdened hearts. We're grateful to once again share a meal together, grateful for our sustained health, grateful for the business and the community leaders you've raised up and placed in our county to steward the talents you've entrusted to us for this season of life in Nacogdoches for your glory. Bless, Lord, if you would, these leaders, their families, and their employees. Though grateful, we are burdened for those who are ill, for our medical workers that are tiring, our law enforcement and our first responders that protect and serve in the face of threat, our business leaders who felt the strain from the virus, and our governing and educational leaders that have been pinched with so many difficult decisions. We pray for them that they would sense your comfort and peace, give them wisdom and discernment that aligns with your way and your word, for you never waste a hurt. We're optimistic, God, for the days to come and long to make the most of the opportunities before us. We love this community and we rejoice that you love us and it even more. We delight that you take pleasure in our casting our anxieties and our hopes and our very selves upon you through Christ because you care. Amen.
Thank you. Please continue having dinner. It is being served, and I'll be back in a few minutes. I want to introduce our sponsors. You know, in Nacogdoches, our business people and our educational people really come to the challenge of helping with events in Nacogdoches. Our presenting sponsor tonight, and if these people would stand and remain standing until I've completed the list, and then we'll give them a round of applause. Our presenting sponsor is the Fredonia Hotel and Convention Center. Would you all stand, please? Our silver sponsors tonight, Harry's Building Materials, Pilgrims Corporation, and Eubank. And remain standing, all of you. Our bronze sponsors include Austin Bank, Axley Rohde, Bancorp South and Bancorp South Insurance, Citizens First Bank, Eaton Cooper Power Systems, ETAG, Laird Funeral Home, Manpower, Nacogdoches Economic Development Corporation, NIBCO, Nacogdoches Medical Center Health Network, Encore Electric Delivery, Southside Bank. Let's give a round of applause to those people. A special thanks to the businesses sponsoring tonight's awards. Small Business of the Year sponsor, Commercial Bank of Texas. Would you stand? Our Medium Business Sponsor of the Year, Regions Bank. Our Large Business of the Year sponsor is R&K Distributors, Inc. Citizen of the Year sponsor is Tipton Ford Lincoln. And our Nonprofit of the Year sponsor is Charles Brew Real Estate. And a round of applause to those. And what would an event be without VIPs? And somebody asked me tonight, who's a VIP? Well, excluding the 462 of you that are here, let's introduce our elected officials and our educational people tonight. We are honored by their attendance, and we always like for them to show up at special events. As we announce your name, please stand, and I'd ask the audience to hold their applause until we have introduced all. Stephen F. Austin State University President, Dr. Scott Gordon. Our Board of Regents, remain standing, Scott. David Alders, Robert Flores, Karen Gant, who is Chair, Bridget Henderson, M. Thomas Mason, Vice Chair, Judy Larison Olson, Laura Reckenwald, Nancy Wyndham, Jennifer Wade Winston, Secretary, and Spencer Coffey, our student regent. And representing our federal employees, representing Senator John Corrigan's office, Kathy Comer and Reese DeWoody. Are they with us? Where are they? Okay. And from the state, Robert Nichols, Senator State Robert Nichols and his staff, Sean Don, there's Sean, and J.D. Hale. The Honorable Travis Clardy is being represented tonight by his District Director, Jerry Jones, but most of all by his wife, Judy. Where are you, Judy? Okay. And for our county officials, County Judge Greg Sowell, Robin Dawley, County Commissioner, and our City Mayor, Jimmy Mize, our City Manager, Mario, Mario, just stand up, Canaris, okay? I'll give you an East Texas name before tonight's over. City Council members, Jay Anderson, Kathleen Ballinger, and from the school board, from NISD, we have our superintendent, Gabe Trudillo, Dr. Trudillo, James Montoya, Mindy Winslow, Reverend James Irwin, Fashib Naramad, Leah Beth Ab, and Dr. T.C. Groman. And did I see Pam Fitch or not? No. Okay. Let's give these people a special welcome. And for our friends just across the river, we're thrilled to have the Lufkin Angelina Chamber with us tonight. My friend Tara Watson Watkins, who is the President and CEO of the Lufkin Chamber. Brent Watkins, Byron Sear, Jennifer Sear, Terry Morgan, Susan Morgan, and Will Alvis. And an extended welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us. Well, let's recognize another special group of people. If you have served as the past chair or the past president of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, would you please stand and let us recognize you? All right. Thank you. One of the programs of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce is Leadership Nacogdoches. If you're a postgraduate, if you've attended any of the leadership classes, would you stand? And I hope that includes the current class. Are you standing? All of you. Thank you. We're pleased tonight to have the program chairs for Leadership Nacogdoches. These individuals have served for many years in many classes, and we appreciate the efforts of Charlotte Ashcraft and Mr. Paul Smith. Would you two stand? I think I have one more group to recognize. If you're here tonight and you've been honored as a Citizen of the Year for the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, would you stand, please? Okay, thank you. Ted, would you join me? Several members of the Chamber Board of Directors have completed their terms of service. Would the retiring board members now join me up on stage, where Chairman Ted Smith will present you with a token of your appreciation of the years of service. David Alders. David Alders from the Carrizo Creek Corporation. Patrick Concilio from ServPro of Lufkin and Nacogdoches County. Patrick. Laura Culpepper, a local architect. Ray Morin from the law office of Ray P. Morin. Ed Poole with Charles Poole Realty. And Angela Wiederhole from Point A Media. Hey, Angela. Thank you. Congrats. Oh, okay. I'll do them now. And Laura. Patrick? Good. Good. You're going to get a group shot, JR?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me move out of the way. Ted, get up. Won't you be over there by him? Thank you for your service. Well, whoops. Let me see. I think I have some more VIPs here that I missed earlier, and I'm sorry, I apologize. Judge Jack Sins, would you stand and be recognized? And Judge Jefferson Davis. How could I overlook you guys? Okay, welcome. Is that number one or number two? John Fleming. John Fleming is a special VIP. John, stand up so we can give you a round of applause. He's on the program later also.
There he is.
Now please welcome our 2008 chairman of the Nacogdoches County Heritage Fest.
You're on too many boards.
I guess so, I'm a volunteer. Donna Finley is going to come and install our new officer. She's chaired our Chamber of Commerce in 2008. She currently is our Government Affairs Chairman, and she is also a recipient of the Business Award at our last banquet. Donna, would you join me? And here's your page.
Okay. Will the 2021-22 Executive Committee please join me on stage? They are as following. Chair, Dr. Todd A. Brown, Stephen F. Austin State University. Past Chair, Ted Smith State Farm. Chair-elect, Dustin Beavers, Austin Bank. Treasurer, Melissa Tack, Eubank. Vice President of Business Development, Tyrone Curl, DMC Marketing. Vice President of Community Development, Rick Craig, the Daily Sentinel. Vice Chair of Membership Services, Dr. Ryan Head Pediatrics. Vice President of Special Projects and Fundraisers, Trish Holt with ETech. We'll get back to the Executive Committee in a moment and ask them to stand by. Will the remaining 2021-22 Board of Directors please stand as I call your name? Dr. Kimberly Childs, Stephen F. Austin State University College of Science and Mathematics. Shannon Conklin, HCH Aviation. Ken Deppish, Deppish Law Firm. Pam Fitch, Spirit Outfitters. Dr. Scott Gordon, Stephen F. Austin State University. Juan Gonzalez, Bancorp South. Emily Hobson, Eaton Cooper Power Systems, Inc. Sherry Howard, NIPCO Inc., Roger Lindsay, Encore Electric Livery, Scarlett Long, Parkway Wealth Management, Michael Martin, Nacogdoches Independent School District, Darla O'Neill, McWilliams and Son Heating and Air Conditioning, Terrence Reeves, Concerned Black Man of Nacogdoches, Ryan Russell, the Fredonia Hotel and Convention Center, and Lamarcus Wallace of ETEC. Directors, you have been elected to represent the membership of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce and to become a part of the governing board to help your officers plan for the future. The membership has shown faith and trust in you as a leader. If you accept your responsibility, please raise your right hand and answer "I do" to this question. Do you promise to faithfully perform the duties as a board member to the best of your ability? I do. Congratulations and best wishes as you serve. Please remain standing. Executive Committee with me on stage. You have been duly elected as officers for the incoming year of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. You have been chosen to represent the membership and to lead them. They have faith in you. That faith goes deeper than standing here before us and taking this oath. It represents faith in the future. I hope you realize the seriousness of the obligation you are now assuming. If you accept the office to which you have been elected, will you please raise your right hand and keep it raised until you have answered these questions? Officers, do you also accept the responsibilities and duties you now assume?
I do.
Do you further promise that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office to the best of your ability and understanding?
I do.
Congratulations and best wishes as you lead this chamber.
We would like to offer our thanks to the following group of people who have served as chairman of a committee for the Chamber of Commerce this year. Those being Charlotte Ashcraft, leadership, would you stand and all of you remain standing? Todd Brown, advocacy. Tyrone Curl, Shopnack First. Ralph Irwin, the Blueberry Bash, Golf Bash. Donna Finley, advocacy. Grace Handler, Blueberry Chairman. Trish Holt, Blueberry, Golf Bash. Mary Mockinick, Larissa Philpott, Paul Smith, Scott Waller, Aaron Wyndham. Congratulations to each of you that have served in such a valuable committee. At this time, we're going to have remarks from our immediate past chair, Claire Robbins, followed by those remarks by Ted Smith. Claire.
Good evening, everybody. It's so good to see a crowded room. I'm so glad each of you are here. When my term started, I never thought I would hear the word pandemic as something that I would experience. I always thought it was going to be something in the history books. But as we all know, we've all experienced a pandemic in our lifetime, and it's hard to believe that it's been 2 years since we were here last together as a group for the Chamber annual banquet. So much has happened since I became chairman of the board in September of 2019. Although it's been a difficult time for everyone, it has given me an opportunity to see true leaders at work. I dare say that all of us in this room have witnessed heroes in our midst. I must first recognize our amazing chamber staff. They did an outstanding job keeping our community informed and assisting our member businesses since the beginning of COVID in the spring of last year. I believe in every situation there's a silver lining. COVID's silver lining has been seeing folks become leaders and finding the best in others. Speaking of leaders, my term as chairman of the Chamber Board ended in September of 2020, and that's when Ted Smith stepped in to lead our board. Ted has done a great job through a difficult time. He has been eager to reestablish our in-person chamber events, including this annual meeting tonight. Dr. Todd Brown is our incoming chair. You will hear more from him in just a few minutes. Todd is going to be an amazing chairman. We sat next to each other over the last several years during executive committee meetings and chamber board meetings. He's a smarty pants, if you didn't already know that. Somehow, I always seem to get in trouble, but I'm not taking any responsibility. It's all his fault. But he's going to do a great job for us. I will close by saying I was excited to become the chairman of the board. It was a great opportunity, and now I have moved on to the next amazing opportunity that God has provided for me. I'm truly blessed to have worked with a great staff, great leaders, and great chamber members. Thank you, and God bless you all.
All right, I promise I'm not going to use the word smarty pants. Just kidding, maybe I will. So what a year this has been, right? You know, we've all endured so much, and many of us have lost much more. As I reflect this last year as being your chamber chairman of the board, I can't help but think of how we all reconnected and how we're all still regrouping as individuals and as businesses. I didn't get to come to you before you last year at the banquet to tell you about theme of the year, but that's what it was, to regroup and reconnect. We spent months in isolation. We worked from home. We met online via webinars. It was a pandemic not seen for 100 years. We adapted, we overcame, we persevered. Right, Jason? That's the hoo-yah thing. Both individuals and as businesses. Much like you, your chamber had to change. We had to grow. We had board and committee meetings virtually. We canceled events, and we found new and creative ways to fund the operations. I'm going to copy something from my good friend Ryan Ivey, and it's something he said when he first got on campus, and I'm going to go off script a little bit. If it ain't broke, break it. And I think if you think about that for a minute, think about it. And we all get stagnant in our ways, and we all get to doing the same thing over and over again, and we get in a rut. The only way you're going to change is to break it. And Ryan Ivey said it best, and I give him kudos for that. You know, everyone wants change until they get it, and then change is uncomfortable, and it's hard. Change is something everybody has to buy into and have to work towards together, and your chamber bought into that last year. And I can't say enough how proud I am of the chamber staff as they met every new challenge and did what had to be done at all costs to keep your chamber running as a well-oiled machine. So I'd like to give Wayne, Kelly, Barbara, Sharon, Sherry, and Bonnie a big round of applause for everything they did, because they really did step up to the plate. I've truly enjoyed being your chamber board chairman. I grew as a person, I grew as a small business owner, and I grew as a leader. I'm ready now to continue my pursuit and make a positive change in our community, and will continue to support our city, our county, and our university leadership as we all work together towards making change for a better Nacogdoches and a better future. You know, they say that behind every good leader is an even better support staff. I got to agree with that, because I couldn't do it alone. I could not accomplish the things we've done if it had not been for the staff and the centers of influence that I have in my life. I'd like to thank my key staffers, Maria DeLira and Monse Laredo. I won't make you stand up, but you got to raise your hand. Raise your hand, girls. Thank you, ladies, for all you've done. Without them, I wouldn't be able to get out and go to all the chamber events and go out to Austin and all the different things that the chamber required me to do. I'd like to thank Robert Raspberry for believing in me and giving me my first business loan, Michael Good for servicing my second loan, and I'd like to especially thank Mayor Jimmy Mize for being more than just a friend or a banker or a role model. He's been like a big brother to me. And one thing he always told me when I got into leadership, he said, when things get tough, just be that guy to help things go smooth. And he's right. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you. I don't even know where is Jimmy. There he is. You know, I couldn't see you and Rusty beside each other. You can't tell them apart. I told you I'd get you back when I got the microphone, didn't I? He was ribbing me earlier, guys. Y'all know that. Last and certainly not least, I want to recognize my family. They've made countless sacrifices for both my business and community endeavors. I'd like to ask my daughter Avery to stand up and her brother Austin next to their lovely mother and my beautiful wife, Dr. Holly Gamble Smith. And please join me in giving them a round of applause because we know how hard I am to deal with. Thank you, guys. I love you. Aren't they beautiful? I'm a lucky boy. Trophy husband, right? She got last place trophy, but who cares? Thank you again for your belief in me in running Nacogdoches Chamber of Commerce this past year. I look forward to serving you in the near future. At this time, I'm going to invite Todd Brown to come up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. And you did regroup and reconnect with everybody, including these wonderful businesses that we have here tonight. We got Nacogdoches Floral Company, Manpower Group, and Eaton Cooper Power Tire, and Love in the Name of Christ, Alton Fraley, and family, the late Judge Mike Perry. Great companies that the Chamber supports by following their mission, creating an environment that helps businesses succeed. We don't make anything, we don't build anything, we just create that environment. Thanks to the hard work of our staff of Wayne, Kelly, Barbara, Sherry, and Sharon, and Bonnie, our board, and our chamber, we can lead the way in creating the best environment by being stronger together. Now we can do this at the chamber, and we do it in 3 ways. We like to refer to it as NAC, N-A-C. Networking, advocacy, and consulting. Let's start with networking. We have a Live After Fives, ribbon cuttings, Blueberry Fest, Blueberry Concert, Blueberry Golf Bash. These are all things that are situated where you can meet people, hopefully conduct business. Let me give you an example. HCH Aviation, partnership with SFA, built a coalition. Shannon Conklin and his team joined forces with NEDCO, city, the county, the NPD, Chamber of Commerce, the Bright Foundation, LA Electric, to form an awesome company. And earlier this month, their first student took flight. Now that wasn't possible without networking, and it's an example of what we can do when we're stronger together. On to advocacy. We have Eggs and Issues, Lone Star Legislative Summit, NAC SFA Days. Many avenues we have to get in front and talk to policymakers. We deal with controversial things. We don't mess with social issues. We just deal with issues that affect businesses. Take, for example, NISD school bond a few years back. Alton Fraley had a vision for that district. He came to the chamber and shared that vision. And he told us how schools are a big part of how people perceive our community, and especially the business community. And we got behind that issue, and we helped pass that bond. We need to do more to affect change in this community, and we can do that by being stronger together. And finally, consulting. We have the Business Development Series, Shop NAC First, Noble Scholars, Lock Crew Leadership NAC. These are all things that help businesses succeed. Mr. Baker said of the Commercial Bank of Texas, the bank can prosper only as the community prospers. Well, if you say it another way, if the chamber succeeds, the business community succeeds. A lot of the things at the Chamber are planned, but there's some surprises that come along the way. February, we had a nice freeze, which y'all remember. The Chamber, though, provided an important line of communication when it came to electricity and water. And then COVID. The Chamber did a weekly conference call and helped our community stay in touch at a time when everybody was staying at home. This is what the Chamber does. It helps businesses to succeed. You don't have to go it alone. We can help. At SFA, we tell our students, if you want to succeed, get involved. Same is true in business. If we act as one, we can be bigger than we are. And that's how we can compete. So get involved. We're counting on you. The community's counting on you. And remember, we're stronger together. And speaking of stronger together, I want to introduce my family as well. First off, we start with Paige Patillo and Jackson Brown. They thanks for keeping me stronger every day. Next is my parents. They drove all the way from Kansas to be down here. Linda and Arlen. Thanks for raising me right. And my mother-in-law, Janice Patillo. Thank you for your kind words of wisdom through the years. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Baker Patillo. How I wish he was here tonight. He would have loved this. He loved this community. He believed in this community. And he believed that we were stronger together. Thank you.
We've had some excellent leaders, but we have a leader tonight that's going to speak to us, our own CEO and president of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Wayne Mitchell. Wayne?
Well, good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor again to greet you for the sixth time, I believe. If we'd had them every year I've been here. As your president and CEO, I want to tell you that isn't it wonderful for all of us to be together tonight? We truly are better together, are we not? I want to acknowledge my friend and colleague in Nacogdoches here, Betty Shin. You can count on Betty to get a job done. Go ahead, she deserves it. I had the privilege of being introduced to Nacogdoches by a friend named that we sadly lost last Christmas, and that's Bill Teague. And often I've been asked in the last year or so, what was the secret to success here in Nacogdoches? And it was Bill Teague who taught me the secret to success. He just said this, 2 words, Wayne, yes, Betty. As past Chairman Ted and Chairman-elect Todd indicated, or now Chairman Todd indicated, these have been a challenging 2 years, and we've all experienced it. It hasn't just been the Chamber of Commerce. I commend all the women and men in this room here today, no matter what you do, whether you're a healthcare worker, whether you're in education, or whether you're running a fast food operation, or whether you're running Walmart. We all struggled to find new ways to do business, and the good news for me, at least from where I sit, is that we survived, we've navigated these very turbulent waters, and we're better for it. And I think just like the business folks, the Chamber had to change the way we did business too. I'm proud of the 4 Chamber colleagues that I have, and I'm going to ask each of them to come forward as I call their name and join me here on the stage. I'm going to ask Sherry Williams, Membership and Retention Coordinator, to come forward. Sharon Hurst, our Information Services Coordinator. I want you folks to see these people that put in so many hours. Barbara Hall, Vice President of Operations, and Kelly Augustine, the Executive Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce. Would you all please come forward and join me on stage? To a person, these people are essential to Nacogdoches and really to the Chamber of Commerce. I am hesitant to take any credit for the great accomplishments we've had in the last year and a half or 2 years since we've met. These women have done extraordinary things under very difficult circumstances. And as a token of my appreciation tonight, I'd ask my chairman, Ted, to please present to each of them a small token of our appreciation from me and from the board of directors, and let you know how much we clearly appreciate your contributions to this community and to the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all very much. I'm ready for my photograph, Mr. DeVille. Great job. I'd also be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge, all right, I've had a personal relationship with one of the staff members. I might as well get that out of the way. But the good news, she's not paid. She is our super volunteer, and I'm going to ask Ted, if he'd be kind enough, because I know if I brought Bonnie up here, I'd make her a victim, if he'd be kind enough to present one of those to my wife, Bonnie, who's the Chamber super volunteer. And last but not least, Ted, I'd like you to bring one of those up here on the stage with you. You know, if you're the spouse of a person that serves in this capacity, there's a real sacrifice because you're left with all sorts of extra duties while the chairman of the board does all the work. And I'd ask Dr. Holly Gamble-Smith, please, to join us here on the stage. And Ted, would you be kind enough to present that to your wife first? Thank you, Holly, for allowing us to exploit Ted's many talents and skills. And we appreciate you and Jackson and the family and everybody I know Jackson's here tonight as a part of Dr. Brown's family, and we're looking forward to that. So thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. And also, Austin and Avery did without Ted for a period of time too, but they sent me a note saying that's okay. That's a joke, Ted. To the chamber leaders here tonight, thank you. Claire Robbins and Ted Smith, it has been an honor to have the opportunity to work for you the past 2 years. The incoming chairman of the board, Dr. Todd Brown, will bring a whole new dimension of contribution to this organization, and we're looking forward to his involvement, his leadership, and his vision for this community. I'm excited about the opportunity to work with you, Todd. And to the board of directors, you know, we talk about teams, and you have to have a team, and we are a team in Nacogdoches, and I don't just mean the board and the chamber staff, but the community. I love the people I have the opportunity to work with. Many are here tonight. From our friends from Visit Nacogdoches to our friends from NEDCO and all of the organizations, the City of Nacogdoches, Stephen F. Austin State University, you can tell that we can coalesce very well. And let me tell you the consequences of not coalescing. The consequences of not coalescing mean we're not going to compete with the rest of Texas and most importantly with the rest of the world. Communities are getting very sophisticated in their advocacy, and we have to do our part to position Nacogdoches so that we're attractive for investment. I'm particularly pleased tonight to see our friends from Lufkin and Angelina County here tonight. President Tara and CEO Tara Watson-Watkins is a wonderful chamber colleague of mine here in East Texas, and I'm proud of the relationship between the organization. We have to find ways to work together. We don't have the resources individually to compete. We have to find ways to work with the Lufkin and Angelina counties, with the Longviews, with the Tylers, with other parts of East Texas that are all in the same game looking for the same things. And I'm looking forward to us pursuing those relationships. So Tara, thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for the leadership you provide that great organization in Lufkin and Angelina County. And in closing, I'm proud of all of you. Every woman and man in this room is a stakeholder in your Chamber of Commerce. Let me tell you this, we can't do it without your support. Your support as an individual in the leadership you provide, the committees and the organizations and the boards of directors. We can't do it without your financial resources. And I know I hate asking for money, but it's just impossible to accomplish something to be competitive without it. And most importantly, we can't do it without your input. So in closing, I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve as your president and CEO, and I look forward to another great year here at the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much.
He does a pretty good job, doesn't he? I believe we'll keep him a while. We are down to the important part of the evening to honor these people sitting in these front tables. And I'm pleased to introduce County Attorney John Fleming, who will do these presentations. John, will you join me? These are now recognized as the Gary Justice Business Excellence Award. For those of you that might not have known Gary Justice, he served as the chairman of the board of directors in 2004-2005, while holding the general manager's position out at R&K Distributors. His theme was an attitude of gratitude, and he was a servant leader in the business community, the chamber, and here in Nacogdoches. Gary was instrumental in designing the nomination and the selection process for the Business Excellence Awards, opening up that opportunity to the members of the chamber to submit names for these awards. Gary died in an automobile accident in May 2010, and later that year, the chamber honored his contributions to Nacogdoches by including his name in the title of these awards. And now the Gary Justice Business Excellence Award. These companies are receiving recognition, and individuals receiving recognition for economic impact, community involvement, and leadership. And the 4 awards are Small Business of the Year, sponsored by Commercial Bank, Medium Business of the Year, sponsored by Regions Bank, and the Large Business of the Year, sponsored by R&K Distributors, and the Nonprofit of the Year, which is sponsored by Charles Pugh Real Estate. We'll conclude the night with our Citizen of the Year and our Lifetime Achievement Award. Ladies and gentlemen, I present County Attorney John Fleming.
Betty, thank you.
Okay, I'll be here if you need me.
Oh, God bless you. That's just perfect. God bless you. Wow, thanks for that warm round of applause. That was really something. There you go. Keep your seat. You know, we're being televised this evening, and so please stand a little more if you like. Okay. So it's really a blessing to be here this evening, and when I got the call to read tonight, I was a little off script already. I knew one thing with certainty, and that's that Judge Jeff Davis was not available. And so, Your Honor, in your words, I'll be your huckleberry tonight, okay? In my words, I'll be your Tonto. I will try to do you justice. We have, as Betty said, we've come to the most important time of the evening, the one that you've been waiting on, and I'm not talking about a bathroom break because I've had 3 glasses of water in about 20 minutes, and so that's what's been on my mind. But I am talking about, of course, honoring the men and women and, of course, the organizations that have come to define our community over the course of the last year, the last 2 years, and in some cases over the course of a lifetime. And without any further delay, it's my great pleasure to begin these award ceremonies. As Nacogdoches Floral Company approaches the 100-year anniversary, current co-owners James and Karen Ballow continue to build on the successes and advancements made by past owners. The roots of the business began with the Benson brothers opening Nacogdoches Floral in 1925 at its original downtown location on Church Street. The shop was an FTD member and was able to send orders from town to town. Most of the stock was brought in by train and picked up at the depot. In the early 40s, the shop sold to Sam Haberlin and wife, and the couple moved the business to North Mound Street, positioning it across the street from Oakley Metcalf Funeral Home and a few blocks away from Case and Monk Funeral Home and Memorial Hospital. The Haberlins grew their own gladiolas to sell in the shop, and one of their updates made a big splash in the community. A large neon clock Sam installed on the building's front exterior. It served as a local attraction that drew people to the shop. Robert and Linda Grogan purchased Nacogdoches Floral in 1970. They kept up with the industry trends, and that included what Robert considered a fad at the time that wouldn't last. In the long run, he was glad he made an investment in the fad, balloons. James and Karen bought the business in 1998 at its North Mound and Hospital Street location. Sons Blake and Colton were 7 and 2 years old. Now the sons are partners at the shop, along with Colton's fiancée, Brittany, and friends Gina, Sarah, Austin, Carl, and Diana. The Ballows' first edition was creating NacogdochesFloral.com for online browsing and ordering. When the Ballows built the new building and moved to the 3602 North Street location, they added a large gift shop, greenhouse, and installed a 100-foot-long cooler that is maxed out during major holidays. They now offer customers an indoor virtual tour of the shop through Google Maps Street View. Thousands have had their days brightened because of this born in Nacogdoches business, and the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors is proud to name Nacogdoches Floral Company a Small Business of the Year, a Gary Justice Business Award sponsored by Commercial Bank of Texas. Representative Travis Clardy sends his very best regards, as well as a certificate of congratulations. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Jimmy Mize, representing Commercial Bank of Texas, presenting the award, and Karen and James Ballow from Nacogdoches Floral Company to accept the Small Business of the Year award. Equipped with the belief that meaningful, sustainable employment has the power to change the world, positions Manpower as a leader around the world in job placement and career and training development. The company was founded in 1948 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin by attorneys Elmer Winter and Aaron Seinfeld, who needed support staff for a deadline project. That challenge led them to discovering a need for temporary staffing for other businesses as well as their own, and Manpower was created. The founding partners asked themselves, can we help people find work because they understood the importance of employment? Work gives you purpose, provides a paycheck, and restores self-confidence. Growth came quickly with expansion across the United States in 1952, and the first franchise opened in 1954. The company went international in 1956, and later in '67, Manpower stock was publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. With continued global expansion, Manpower is placing people in the workforce in more than 80 countries. serving 400,000 clients with more than 4,000 offices worldwide. In addition to a global spread of opening offices, a family of other companies addressing other workforce needs have stemmed from the original company. These include Experis, Manpower Group Solutions, and Right Management. In addition to the Nacogdoches County Chamber's Business Excellence Award, Ethisphere named Manpower one of the world's most ethical companies in 2020, based on doing business with integrity and investing in the community. For those qualities and the positive impact Manpower makes in our community and the benefits it brings to our businesses, the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce named Manpower Medium Business of the Year, a Gary Justice Business Excellence Award sponsored by Regions Bank. Again, Representative Travis Clardy sends his very best regards, as well as a certificate of congratulations. Please join me in welcoming Tara Odell from Regions Bank, presenting the award, and Jesse Brown from Manpower to accept the Medium Business of the Year award.
John.
Yes. And by the way, or if this young man does. Servant leadership, said Gary Lee Ashcraft, Nacogdoches Area United Way CEO, when asked about Eaton Cooper Power Systems. Eaton cares about their employees and the community. Eaton shows it through their commitment and engagement in the community. It all started back in 1974 when the first transformer rolled off the assembly line. In 2012, the business was purchased by Eaton Corporation. Production at the Nacogdoches plant consolidated over the years to single-phase pole and pad mounted transformers, mostly for residential use. We are proud that our products help deliver safe electricity to our community, said Bill Dietrich, engineering manager. With the help and encouragement of Eaton, United Way's Day of Caring was established in 2017. Eaton and their employees are generous with their time in support of not only United Way, but the entire Nacogdoches community, said Caroline Garner, Nacogdoches Area United Way Vice President, CFO. With close to 260 employees, Eaton operates 3 shifts, Monday to Friday, with weekend work as needed. As an essential business, Eaton remained in production during the spring shutdown. Our employees' safety is our highest priority, and Eaton established strict protocols to ensure everyone's safety, said Emily Hobson, Human Resource Manager. Demand for our product remains strong despite the impact of COVID on the economy, said Kimberly Young, Plant Manager. Eaton is a leader in helping its customers solve electrical, hydraulic, and mechanical power management problems. In July 2020, a 500-year storm hit Iowa, and over 200,000 homes and businesses were without power. One of Eaton's customers was in urgent need of transformers. Employees worked for 13 days straight to build the much-needed product. Our employees understood the urgency for not only our customer, but also for the families and businesses affected by the power outage, said Young. Eaton is a multinational company and encourages every employee to have a positive impact, to support their community, to face challenges proactively, and to keep the spirit of innovation alive. The Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors is pleased to recognize Eaton Cooper Power Systems as the Gary Justice Business Excellence Large Business of the Year, sponsored by R&K Distributors, Inc. Representative Clardy again sends his very best regards, as well as a certificate of congratulations I'm told is actually signed by Representative Clardy. Please welcome Jimmy Day, representing R&K Distributors, and Kimberly Young from Eaton Cooper Power Systems to accept the Large Business of the Year award.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the Eaton team, I would like to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for this award and recognition. We consider ourselves lucky to be able to live and work in the Nacogdoches community. It's a very special place. And we thank the Chamber for all of the work you do to support the growth in our community. We're fortunate to work for Eaton, where our corporate values include community service, and it's one of the core principles that we should share our talents and resources in the community where we live and work for both social and economic needs. So we thank our corporate government for allowing our local Eaton site to support the local community with time and resources. And we hope to do more in the future, so thank you.
We help the people who need the help, find the people who can help, said Patty Goodrum, Executive Director of Love in the Name of Christ. Love, Inc. was founded in Nacogdoches in 1999 by church leaders from several denominations. Roger Aker served as the Executive Director until his death in 2009. Patty Goodrum started in the role in January 2010. Love, Inc. works as a clearinghouse for Christian churches to validate and verify the needs of individuals. Love, Inc. works to help and hand up, to teach a self-sufficiency mindset to all our clients, said Goodrum. The Fresh Start program is available to clients who are willing to commit to the 6-month program. Program volunteers meet with clients as mentors with the goal of the client becoming self-sufficient. The Warehouse Ministry supplements household items to clients, giving the opportunity for clients to save their money for essentials. Back to School and Christmas Shared Blessings are programs offered to help clients work toward self-sufficiency. God was planning ahead, said Goodrum. When asked how COVID-19 had affected Love, Inc., a month prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, Love, Inc. had just finished our new entryway. The entry allows for clients, volunteers, and staff to safely interact. COVID-19 brought about Love, Inc.'s new rent program. The rent program allowed us to share the love of Jesus and give hope to families, said Goodrum. Through community contributions, Love, Inc. was able to assist over 90 families. Love, Inc. is always looking for ways to help transform the lives of individuals. Love, Inc. has a 4-year dream to provide shower and laundry facilities, reestablish the retail shop, and to provide office space for other nonprofits who serve the same clients, said Goodrum. Love, Inc. is governed by a 15-person board of directors. Love, Inc. has a staff of 5 full-time and 4 part-time employees and over 350 volunteers. Our staff and volunteers work as a hub for Christian churches. Our goal is to help the churches achieve their mission, said Goodrum, when asked about Love, Inc.'s mission. When asked about the pandemic, Goodrum said, COVID-19 has shown that our community is the body of Christ, and they have shown it to help families. Love, Inc. has had the opportunity to serve a different population in Nacogdoches, and we are thankful for that opportunity to build Christ-like relationships. Love, Inc. provides an opportunity for both the clients and Christians serving to transform lives. God has orchestrated a lot of unique talent with the love of Christ, and it amazes me every day. I'm truly blessed to be a part of Love in the Name of Christ, said Goodrum. The Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors is pleased to recognize Love in the Name of Christ as the Nonprofit of the Year. Representative Clardy sends his very best regards, as well as a certificate of congratulations. Please welcome Ed Poole, representing Charles Poole Real Estate, presenting the award, and Patty Goodrum of Love in the Name of Christ to accept the Nonprofit of the Year award. Patty.
And my staff.
So you know I'm going to have something to say, right? our current board of directors. I have three of them here tonight. Linda Green, our president, Patty Wilburn, and Bridget Pitts. Back there, y'all wave. I also have seen a couple of Reverend John Mills is here, a previous board member, and of course Kathleen Ballinger is here. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Just wanted to acknowledge that they were here. Nonprofit in Love Inc. is like other organizations. John's back there, John Canning's back there. We have Women's Job Corps here. We are a huge network of folks that work together for all these folks. So I just wanted to thank them too for being a part of the whole network. And of course, my favorite volunteer is here tonight as well, and my knight in shining armor, Mr. Bill Goodrum. He gets to volunteer whether he wants to or not, and I'm also thankful for him. You know, there's lots of things I could say up here. Y'all know what we do. You hopefully read our article once a week. There's something more important that I want to just mention, if you'll allow me 2 minutes. Love in the Name of Christ, Nacogdoches exists to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with people who are hurting, desperate, and in despair, and scared, and unable to make a positive change in their life. Happy, Debbie, Marilyn, Laura, Dusty, Franklin, and I have had the privilege to facilitate through Christian volunteers from our local churches and donations from you, our community, to help with a solution and hopefully a pathway to make a positive change and promote self-sufficiency in their lives. More importantly, open their eyes to see the hands and feet of Jesus, to build a relationship with them as Jesus so desires to have a relationship with them and with us. That real change, peace, and true happiness only comes from knowing a Savior who has lived and died for their sins and mine and yours, that believing in him will give you eternal life. We're honored that you chose Love Inc., Nacogdoches for this award, but the glory goes to God, and I want to make that clear. We all do, as a group and as our team. That any good works that we've done is only by his grace and his mercy. Nothing we've done is worthy of recognition, only his love for us deserves the gratitude. I invite you, if you don't know Jesus, and if you fall short like many of us do, find a church. We got plenty of them. We got plenty of Jesus teaching and Jesus loving churches in our community, and we are so thankful. But I'll warn you, there's not perfect people there. Only sinners like me that are there to learn to walk with our Savior and to be in a relationship with him and other struggling believers. We live in a broken world. It was broken when Adam and Eve made their choice. So I pray that you will make a decision to trust Jesus and live for him and live with him forever, and he will meet you right where you are. So don't wait. God bless. Thank you.
Alton Fraley. Alton, thank you for coming to Nacogdoches County when we were in great need. But like I mentioned to Anissa, your wife, a little earlier, we should maybe be thanking G.W. Neal for reaching out to you. But if you haven't met Alton Fraley, then I urge you to do so. If you have met him, then you know that he is an extraordinary visionary with a can-do spirit, and came into this community and was essentially a catalyst for needed change. And when I think of Alton Fraley, I think of a catalyst. He is someone who is like some of the other movers and shakers that we've seen. It's truly remarkable, and we're grateful that you came here. I once asked Alton if he preferred Katy Independent School District over Nacogdoches Independent School District. And when you get up here in a minute, you can tell the audience what you said, Alton, okay? You've got some time to think about it. Leadership at a critical time. There is no other description for what Alton Fraley provided to Nacogdoches in his time here. Prior to Alton Fraley's selection as interim superintendent, the Nacogdoches Independent School District was in need of major attention. Facilities were in need of major repair, teacher morale was low, and many students were seeking their education in other communities. The Alton Fraley tenure began with a call from a member of the Nacogdoches School Board, G.W. Neal. Alton recalls that G.W. started the conversation with, "Brother Frahley, we could sure use your help." The good news is that while in retirement, the Nacogdoches school system was already on Alton's mind for quite some time. After letting his wife Anissa know of his interest in helping the Nacogdoches school system for 4 or 5 months, which turned into 2 years, and gaining her support and encouragement, Alton agreed to come to Nacogdoches to become interim superintendent. Working with staff, community leaders, and other stakeholders, he began the process of changing the perception of the Nacogdoches Independent School District. One of the first public initiatives was to institute huddle time, a forum for Mr. Fraley to share with the community, faculty, and other interested individuals the needs of the system, why investment in education is critical for economic development, and to let people know why we cannot wait another decade to improve the system. Alton faced tough questions from attendees, but always offered a candid and frank response. C. Wayne Mitchell, that is in C. Wayne Mitchell, President and CEO of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, says that Mr. Fraley was instrumental in getting the bond issue approved by voters. Mitchell said Mr. Fraley's ability to make a compelling case for investment and his willingness to engage were critical in the success of this initiative. He motivated and inspired many people along the way, and without his leadership and involvement, I'm not sure the bond issue would have passed. As a result of his leadership and strong community support, a major school bond issue was approved by Nacogdoches voters with a $73 million investment. Mr. Fraley is proud of his Nacogdoches roots. He says the support from people like G.W. Neal and others have contributed to his success. Alton and his wife Anissa currently reside in Floshare, Texas. They have 3 children, Elena, Anderson, and Austin. Mr. Fraley served as past chair of the Stephen F. Austin State University Board of Regents. He graduated from SFA in 1983, making him approximately 60 years old, with a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education and holds a Master's of Education in Educational Administration. Prior to coming to Nacogdoches, he served for 9 years as superintendent of the nearly 74,000 student Katy ISD near Houston. Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce is proud to announce Nacogdoches Citizen of the Year, Alton Fraley. Representative Clardy sends his highest regards, as well as a certificate of completion. Rather, congratulations. The pen he used to sign it is on sale at a bargain price on eBay. Please welcome Alton Fraley and Betty Shin on behalf of Tipton Ford Lincoln, sponsor of the Chamber Citizen of the Year Award.
Sorry about that. Well, I hadn't really planned on speaking, but John kind of called me out there, so I guess I better say a few words. Katie's where I worked, and I loved it. Nacogdoches is where I'm from. This is home. That answers that question, right? To the Chamber, thank you so much for your work over the many, many years supporting our businesses here in this town that I call home. To my Nacogdoches ISD family, board back there and all the folks that worked with me on the team, thank you so much for allowing me to share a few things with you all and for working with me, believing in me, and bringing forth your best as well. The SFA family, you made a huge difference in my life. Changed the whole trajectory of where I was going. Really appreciate that. To my North Redland, Johnson Chapel Baptist Church family, these folks raised me. They're all older than I am. But these folks raised me, and I think they raised me pretty well. They would say to you, my being here tonight, he's come a long way, baby. And I have, but not by myself. All the folks whose lives I've crossed, who have stretched my life, have truly made it happen. And I've gone lots of places. You ever see those little wind socks that kind of blow around with the wind or whatever? That's going to be my life. You know, the storm winds blow, but like the sock, I never moved. Because my feet are firmly planted in the principles and the values I gained right here. Tonight, I'm honored in a way I never ever imagined. It is truly, truly humbling, and I can't thank you enough for this recognition. I wish for all of you all nothing but the best. Let us continue to work together, grow together, and build together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. Judge Mike Perry. So, many of you in this room probably know the judge better than I. I got to know him a little bit later in life when he began to work at the courthouse. And I asked some of his close friends to tell me something about him. Is he going to be easy to work with? Is he going to be hard to work with? Tell me something about him so that it'll be an easier, road, because it can get kind of weird down there at the courthouse. But in any event, somebody said, John, I'm going to make this simple for you because you're a simple man. When Mike Perry crosses the road, cars look both ways. Wow. I came to realize the power of that anecdote that he shared. And I'm sure Rex and Hunter, Ray, and their spouses, Jerry and Mrs. Perry, know exactly what I'm talking about. One time when I had an opportunity to visit with him at the end of a long day, I asked him, share some advice with me, something that I can take with me. He looked at me and he said, all right, I'll give you a freebie. This one won't cost you, John. And I said, well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Judge Perry, very much. And he looked at me and he said, it was important. I can remember it just a little bit. Excuse me just a moment here. What did he tell me? Oh, yeah. That's what he said. It was great. He said, John, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. That's what he said. And I said, Judge Perry, I'm not as smart as you, but what exactly does that mean? And he said, well, it means that if you don't know what that means, you're probably on the menu, John. Mike Perry was a dedicated father, dedicated grandfather. He was a loving husband. He was committed to his community. And more importantly, he was committed to his Creator. He was blessed with a keen intellect. He was blessed with truly a robust presence, I think, in virtually any room. And he was blessed with Betty Perry. And I'm sure if he were here tonight in the flesh, he would say that the credit goes to her for the support that she gave him and gave the family. I think that he'd give the credit to you. And it's for those reasons that the Nacogdoches County Chamber Board of Directors made a decision to honor County Judge Mike Perry posthumously with a Lifetime Achievement Award, recognizing the contributions Judge Perry made throughout his life. Judge Perry married Betty Kendrick in 1957, and during their 62 years of marriage, they enjoyed their 4 children, Rex, Jerry, Ray, and Hunter, and their success in business and in multiple election campaigns. Mike joined Betty's father's car dealership in 1964 when they were adding the Chrysler line. Later, in 1981, Mike took ownership of the business. He had purchased the Highway 59 South property in the 70s and followed through on moving the dealership, even though some questioned moving it so far out of town. Obviously, it paid off with room to expand, and it drew more customers from surrounding areas. Some may not know or remember that Mike took a position with Nacogdoches Savings and Loan for about 2 years. The Savings and Loan approached Mike to start up a small loan department for things like auto and livestock. When asked by the president of the bank why he loaned a man money for cows that he didn't have yet, Mike said this: "I know the man doesn't have any cows. That doesn't matter. I loaned it on the man." Mike's public service career began with campaigning for Southeast Ward City Commissioner in 1974, and he won the seat. In 1978, Mike ran for re-election and won for a second term. Judy McDonald served as mayor, and the two were known for working together while keeping a sense of humor in their ongoing disagreeing perspectives. Mike was elected again as city commissioner in 1984. As a commissioner, Mike was involved in improving the airport, purchasing more property for the city landfill, choosing a site for the exposition center, completing construction for Loop 224, finishing Lake Nacogdoches project. The lake project stirred up a lot of talk in the area with doubts that the site would ever hold water. Mike joked with the commissioners that if this hole doesn't fill, we'll have to leave town. He also took a trip to Washington, D.C. with fellow commissioners and Dr. Ralph Steen for a meeting with U.S. Congressman Charlie Wilson. Mike declared that the D.C. visit would be his first and last time to fly, and he would never get on another plane with Charlie Wilson. Some of you may recall that Charlie Wilson was once asked to join the ethics committee, and he said, "I'm on the other side of that issue." His commitment not to fly stayed true until the boys took him on a trip to Montana for his 80th birthday. In 2014, Mike campaigned and won the election for county judge. He served during times when the county experienced growth and challenges, addressing funding the budget, improving roads, and opening a certified weigh station on South Highway 59. Since its opening, the total revenue collected by the county from the weigh station is over $350,000. Mike was always involved in something. He served as president of the Optimist Club, and he was a board member of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. As county judge, he attended the Chamber's Nacogdoches SFA Days in Austin and delivered annual updates at chamber membership meetings. For 15 years, he volunteered as an assistant coach in the Nacogdoches Youth Baseball Association through Rex's, Ray's, and Hunter's time in the sport. Mike was on the association's board when the playing fields were purchased and moved to the West Loop. He joined Fredonia Hill Baptist Church the year he and Betty were married, and he was ordained as a deacon in 1971. He served on the building committee and was involved in the construction of the South Street Church. He always said he was a Baptist by marriage. Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce is proud to honor posthumously Judge Mike Perry with a Lifetime Achievement Award, Representative Clardy sends his regrets for not being in attendance tonight, but there is a certificate of completion that may or may not bear his signature. Please welcome Rex Perry on behalf of the Perry family accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Be over there so they can get a picture.
Right here. They got a wide angle lens to me. I don't really know what to say. What an honor. I know that for Hunter, my mom, Jerry, Ray, spouses, grandkids, for a lot of folks in here, it has been quite a missing. He was, boy, was something else. I made a couple notes here so I could remember, but it shouldn't be that hard because it's pretty easy to remember that he prided himself as being a professional aggravator. He was the best I've ever seen. I remember one time he told my mom to go get some clothes. Said, you need to go buy a bunch of new clothes. She said, why would I want to buy a bunch of clothes and your next wife end up wearing them? He never missed a beat when he said, your clothes would be way too big for my next wife. We always wondered why she didn't kill him a long time before. Natural causes. He prided himself on hanging a nickname on somebody. He liked sayings. Steve McElroy shared a saying one time with my dad. He called up and said, you know, I got a good saying from Muck today. He said, the truth makes a problem a part of the past, and a lie makes a problem a part of the future. And he had a million of those, although I'd never heard the one about the moon. It was really quite an experience, and he did like sayings. I'm going to keep this short. Not too long ago, a kid and a young man in Conroe was trying to sell me his truck. He called up and said, you know, Mr. Perry, it's nice. It's a beautiful Ford F-150. It's got put sealant on the paint. It's clean on the inside, clean on the outside. I've taken great care of it. As a matter of fact, it's cleaner than a Buc-ee's bathroom. And I thought, that's pretty good. I'm going to add that to my repertoire. And I thought, you know, my dad would really like that one. Because we would stop at Buc-ee's with Bastrop every time. But then I thought to myself, you know, there is no doubt in my mind that he did hear that. And I feel confident he's looking down tonight thinking, looking at this thinking, ain't that something? Thank you.
Okay, let me reintroduce Betty Shin.
Okay, this is Rex. John, give this to Rex.
Yes.
And your mother's gonna want this.
Yes, I forgot to say, one thing I forgot to say to you to say, that my dad did love Betty Joyce Kendrick Perry.
I know. He wanted to make sure we knew his daddy loved his mama, but we all know that, Betty Perry. He let us know that. Well, we've had a good time tonight, haven't we? We've recognized lots of people. We've had good food, but most of all, we've been together. We've been trying to have this banquet for 1.5 years. I had worn out a calendar, erasing the dates and the places and the venues where we're going to be. We were at one time, hate to tell us to say this, we were going to have this banquet in the Coliseum, and then we thought, well, maybe we couldn't get up the front of the Coliseum, so we thought, well, we'll go over to the football field. Homer Bryce, and we'll have the banquet over there. And we waited long enough, and we're back in the Fredonia, and aren't we glad? It's been a nice evening. There are many individuals that have helped us this evening to make this all possible, and especially the award winners. I'd like to recognize my Banquet Committee. You know, this is the 18th year, I sure hate to say that I've chaired this banquet, 18 years, back when Peggy Hosso was chairman. And I've had some of the same members on that committee. Charlotte Ashcraft, would you stand? Todd Brown, Katie Blevins, Donna Finley, Dustin Beavers, Scarlett Long, Bradley Reynolds, that couldn't be with us tonight, Claire Robbins, Morgan Rogers, Ryan Russell, and Ted Smith. Thank you all. We also want to give one last great big hand to Barbara Hall, the Operations Vice President at the Chamber, Kelly Augustine, who is our Executive Vice President, Sharon Hurst, our Information Coordinator, Sharon Williams, Membership and Retention, and our Chamber President and CEO, Wayne Mitchell. These committees and staff have worked behind organizing the room, the seating tonight. I hope you enjoyed where you were seated. Some people like to sit up front, some like to sit in the back, but at least you had a seat tonight and a number to go to. We want to thank Shannon Jacobs for providing the interpretation services tonight. To the outstanding staff here at the Fredonia Hotel and Convention Center, well done. And I'd also like to thank JR, where are you? Jason? Our photographer that's been roving around. It's no telling how many of you he's taken pictures of. They'll all appear on Facebook when we're least expecting those. Thanks again, of course, to all of our sponsors for tonight. And last but not least, thank you for attending tonight. And this concludes the 99th annual meeting of the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for being here.